Welcome to the session today. Hope you guys are doing good. So, yesterday we had discussed what is the course content and everything.
Recording in progress.
Right? From today onwards, we're going to discuss the very first topic, that is in a GCP, we have a GCP database landscape and big data landscape. So one by one, we are going to start with. So in a first half, I'm going to explain few concepts related to the databases, that is our Google Cloud Storage. And after that, we're going to start with at the second of our session, I will tell you the how to create a free tier account in the GCP, so that you'll be able to create a free tier account. After that, you'll be able to practice what are the sessions that we are having in. So let me start with the session today. So in the GCP database landscape, this is the agenda, guys. Okay. We are going to see, explain all the GCP databases landscape and the differences between the RDBMS as well as NoSQL databases. And in this one, we are going to look at the Cloud SQL, Cloud Spanner, and Bigtable. Okay, so these are the things. So first, we're gonna see data lake modernization in the GCP. If you wanted to have a data lake in the GCP, how we can have it? So which tool can be acting as a data lake in the GCP? Let us see one by one, right? So yes, we already know what is a data lake, guys. A data lake is a centralized repository to store the data. Okay, a centralized repository to store or retrieve the data as per the business requirement, right? So what kind of a data we can store, guys? You can see here. We can store structured data, semi-structured data, unstructured data. We can store either if it is a batch data or streaming data. It should be able to stand for SQL, ML, and searching. We can able to store on-prem data, cloud data, and data. So it is a scalable and secured platform to store the data, retrieve the data for further analysis or processing purpose. So this is what is a data lake, right? We have seen what is a data lake. Let me try to tell you what is a data lake from my notes. Okay. This is my notes, guys. Where is that? Okay, basics. Yeah. So this is what it is, a data lake. I hope you guys can see my screen clearly. Okay. So usually you get a data from a multiple data sources. So in a data lake, the data lake should be withstand to store any amount of data that is coming from a multiple data sources, and it should not restrict any data format. It should allow any data format to be stored, any amount of data to be stored, and it should be scalable platform and also secured platform. Okay, so that is what is a data lake. A data lake is a centralized repository to store or retrieve the data. And what kind of data we can store, guys? Any kind of data we can store here. Okay, and do we have any restriction on the number of files that we can store here? No, there is no restriction on the number of files that we can store in the data lake. Okay, and it is a scalable and secured platform, right? So this is what is the explanation of a data lake. Now let us see data lakes using a GCS. In a Google Cloud platform, we have Google Cloud Storage is acting as a data lake. What is that? Let us see now. Okay, so this is Google Cloud Storage is as a data lake in the GCP. So what is a Google Cloud Storage, guys? So let me go to the paint and try to explain you guys one by one. So from today, from the very first topic that we are going to see is Google Cloud Storage. What is a Google Cloud Storage? Let us see first. Okay. Sir, Google Cloud Storage is a one of the fully managed services in the GCP. What is this one, sir? One of the fully managed services in the GCP. What do you mean by that, sir? What is mean by fully managed service? Sir, I want you to understand what is mean by fully managed. For very first thing, I will try to tell you. Sir, if you go to any cloud platform, okay, if you go to any cloud platform, the services in the cloud platform are categorized into two things. One is managed instance. Okay, not managed, virtual machine. Second one is managed instance, and third one is serverless. Okay, sir, VM based. People call it as a VM based. Okay, these are the three categories. If you go to any cloud platform, the services in the cloud platform are categorized into three. One is VM based services, one more is managed services or fully managed services, and third one is serverless. What do you mean by that, sir? In a VM based services, okay, for example, look at your laptop. In your laptop, if you wanted to work with any of the Python coding, or if you wanted to develop one application, what do, sir? You manually download one software like Python application, and you will provide some resources to that, and you will try to install that, and after that you go for the application development. What do, sir? Whatever the requirements, whatever the resources, whatever the infrastructure required for your entire application development, you as a person taking care of it, taking considering from the laptop itself. So you need a laptop. That laptop needs to have some kind of resources, and that laptop will have its own configuration. And on top of that, you will again download an application and install on top of your laptop, and again you try to develop an application. Likewise, in a VM based, an entire virtual machine will be given to you, so that an entire virtual machine will be given to you. 1 minute, guys. Sorry, I'm getting a call. 1 minute. Sorry, guys. I back now. So there are three categories in the cloud platforms. One is VM based, managed, and serverless. But before this one, if you wanted to understand, there is a one more category which is not a cloud platform. That is non-cloud platform. That is, we call it as an on-premises, right? So we have a one more thing is also there, that is on-premises. It is not a cloud. In on-premises, if you wanted to work with any of the application development, You have to manage your physical infrastructure. Okay, physical infrastructure you have to manage. Again, if you need to have a separate environment, you have to manage your virtual machine, manage the virtual machines, manage the VM. And again, if you wanted to work with an application, you have to manage your application. Okay, because you have to download, install all of those things. Again, you are the person need to develop the solution. Okay, so in a typical architecture, this is the things happening is any company. If someone wanted to work with the any application development, first thing there will be a resources part. One is infrastructure. So as a person, we have to take care of the physical infrastructure. Again, if we have to have a development environment separated for each application, we need to go for a virtual machines. And again, we have to manage the application configuration. And finally, we can develop the solution on top of the service. So this is what it is. So in an on-premises, you as a person have to manage all of these things. Yes. Okay. In a on-premises, we have to manage all of these things. Okay. But if you go to the cloud platform, what is the main advantage? Let us see one by one. Okay, very important thing, guys. If you, no one will tell this point, but you have to understand, because somewhere you are seeing a VM based services, somewhere you are using a managed services, somewhere you are using a fully managed serverless platforms. So now you will be able to understand the concept of this one. Okay, in a VM based, you need not to manage the physical infrastructure, because that physical infrastructure will be provided to you in the form of a virtual machine to you in the cloud platform. You need not to manage the physical infrastructure, but you have to manage your configuration for the virtual machine. You have to manage your application platform as well as development. Okay, in a VM based services are hosted, people also call it as a hosted, guys. VM based are hosted services. In this one, you need not to manage the infrastructure here, because infrastructure will be provided to you in the form of a virtual machine. And after that, how managing the virtual machine, managing the application, and developing a solution is on you. Okay, but who will be taking care of the physical architecture? The cloud platform will be taking care of it. And if you go to the second category, that is managed services, the physical infrastructure will be taken care by the cloud platform, and managing the virtual machines also taken care by the virtual platform, and only the application and development will be taken care by you. Managing the application, managing the developing a solution will be based on you. Okay, you have to manage it, you have to take care of it. Okay, and if you go to the serverless platforms, the name itself it is saying, you need not to worry about a physical infrastructure, you need not to worry about a virtual machines, you need not to worry about a platform. Managing application, nothing but managing the platform, guys. Okay, you need not to worry about a platform, you can directly go for the development. Okay, this is what the cloud platforms are doing a best thing for us. Okay, because they are taking care of a lot of burden from us. If you go to the virtual machine based, an entire virtual machine will be provided to you. When they have given a virtual machine to you, all the configuration will be given to you, guys. If you need this much of, if you need 500 GB, 1 TB, 10 TB, 100 TB of storage, networking properties, as well as the RAM, if you need to have a lot of CPU, you can select it. Okay, so a highly robust virtual machine, you can select it. If you go to your laptop is a small machine which will be having only small configuration. But if you wanted to have a very heavy machine with a large properties, you can select it. Okay, that properties will be, that management of the virtual physical infrastructure will be taken care by the cloud platform. How, sir? We already seeing some data centers, right? Google have its Google data center, Amazon having its Amazon, and that's where they are managing the physical infrastructure. And managing the virtual machine, managing the application, and developing an application will be on you when you go to the VM based services. If you go to the managed services, Physical infrastructure as well as managing the virtual machine will be taken care by them. Only the application and its development will be upon you. Okay, and if you go to the serverless, only the development part you are talking about, because we will see in our upcoming classes what is a fully managed, what is a serverless. So if you go to the VM managed, you can look at the compute engines. Okay, compute engines are there, Kubernetes engines are there, GCA, GKE. So these are all comes under VM based services, guys. If you look at the managed services, we are every day looking at managed or fully managed. You can see that. So managed services are like uh, managed services, data proc you can think of. Very good example, data proc, managed services. And for the serverless, BigQuery is the best example. Dataflow is a one more example. So you need to categorize the services in such a way that it will be very helpful for you to understand it. Because in a company, if a client asks you whether what kind of because we are looking for a serverless platform, you should be in a position to understand what is the serverless platform. If they are looking for a semi-serverless platform or a managed services, you should be in a position, because serverless platforms provide you a lot of benefit when you talk about a cost. Okay, when you talk about a managed services, the cost will be okay, and you have to manage some amount of things like managing the application. So there is some burden on you managing the application, so you have to take care, your team has to take care about managing the application. But when you go to the serverless, your team need not to worry about application management, because you can directly go for the development. All other things like physical infrastructure, managing the virtual machine, managing the application will be taken care by the cloud platform itself. If I talk about a GCP, the same thing. Okay, we have a cloud platforms. When I say a cloud platform, we have a GCP is there, we have AWS is there, we have Azure is there. It is common for all of these things, sir. It is not only this concept is similar. This concept is same for all of it. Is a in general concept. Okay, now you got it. What is a VM based? What is a managed? What is a serverless? Now, if I go to Google Cloud Storage, it is managed or fully managed. Fully managed is also called as a serverless, sir. Sometimes. Okay. If you go to the Google Cloud Storage is a fully managed service. Okay, what is that, sir? It is a fully managed service. What does that mean? It is all the infrastructure required for the, okay, all the, you can also say it is actually a managed service or fully managed. Actually, I can't. This one. Okay, so a managed service, when I say a managed service, all the infrastructure, physical infrastructure as well as the virtual machines will be taken care by the GCP. Okay, what are the rest, guys? You have to create your own application. Okay, when I say application, how the Google Cloud Tower, how the Google Cloud Storage operates, you have to understand. Then only you will be able to understand the what is meant by fully managed service. Because I know that Google Cloud Storage is operates with help of the bucket and files. You have to, when I say a fully managed service, all the physical infrastructure and virtual machine will be taken care by the GCP, and bucket configuration you have to provide. What is meant by that? You have to provide the bucket configuration. When you provide the bucket configuration, a bucket will be created for you. Okay, and after that you can upload files, you can go for the development. When I say development for the GCP is some creating a file or uploading a file, uploading a lot of files, creating many buckets, so like that. Okay, what is meant by fully managed? All the resources as well as infrastructure will be taken care by the GCP itself. So for that point, I have explained all the things, guys, because this terminology will come all the time. So that's the reason I have explained here. Now, now, sir, it is now I understand that it is a fully managed services. So the infrastructure will be taken care by the GCP. That is fine. So now tell me what kind of a service that the Google Cloud Storage is. what is the main intention of having a Google Cloud storage in the GCP? So if you ask me, it is a service for storing and retrieving the data. Okay, sir, what kind of a service it is, sir? If you ask me, it is a service for storing and retrieving the data. Sir, what kind of a data I can store here? Sir, what format data I can store here? Sir, how many files I can store here? Okay, sir, how much amount of data I can store here? Okay, so sir, it is a fully managed service. It is a service, I would say. It is instead of that, a service for storing and retrieving the data. So when I say talking about storing and retrieving the data, how much data I can store, any amount of data, any number of files, any format data, any kind of a data, we can able to store in the GCS, guys. Okay. So this is what is the main intention. What is the purpose of a Google Cloud storage? If you ask me, it is a storage and retrieving tool. You can store any amount of data, any number of files, and if you wanted and need to have a, if you wanted to have the data to be retrieved at some point of time, you can also retrieve this data. Okay. So this is what it is. And one more thing. So how the Google Cloud storage operates? Okay, sir, it is a fully managed, that is fine, and the purpose of the service is also fine, but how it operates? Okay, how it operates, sir? It operates via bucket and files. Okay, it operates via bucket and files. Sir, some people does not know what is a bucket. I want you to understand this terminology now. Okay, sir, what is a bucket? Sir, a bucket is a container. The terminology is this one, sir. Bucket is nothing but a container, or some, if you does not know what is a container also, you can think of your folder. Okay, a container is not, a bucket is nothing but a container, and terminology for the object is nothing but a file of any format. Okay, so this is what is the terminology, sir. Now you will understand. So in a Google Cloud storage, we are storing something and we are retrieving the something. So how the Google Cloud storage operates? Sir, in a Google Cloud storage, it operates via bucket and objects. I should mention here objects, not files, because the terminology is an object. Okay, it operates via bucket and objects. Okay, what is a bucket? A container or a folder. What is an object? A file of any format. So what does that mean, sir? If it is operating via bucket and object, do I have to create a bucket to store the objects? Yes. So you have to create, we have to create to store the objects. Okay, we have to create a bucket. We have to create a bucket. So any number of buckets you can create it, any number of files you can upload it to one bucket. So this is what is it. This is how the Google Cloud Storage operates, guys. Okay, how the Google Cloud Storage operates, sir? A Google Cloud Storage operates via bucket and objects. So in the terminology, what is a bucket, sir? A bucket is nothing but a container, and a object is a file of any format. And we have to create, if I wanted to store some data, what I have to do, sir? If I wanted to store some data inside a Google Cloud storage, what I have to do? I have to go to the Google Cloud storage and try to create a bucket, and inside that I can upload the objects. What do you mean by objects, sir? It is nothing but a data, nothing but a file, right? So this is what is, it is how operates, sir. So far, everything seems good. The fourth point I want you to understand that it allows, Google Cloud Storage allows worldwide storage and retrieval. Okay, that means, what does that mean, sir? I do not know. One more basic concept it is coming, sir. You have to understand there is a concept of region, multi-region, multi-region, and one more thing is a region, multi-region, dual region. Okay, so this is what. If it is allowing a worldwide storage and retrieval, what does that mean, sir? At any location, you can able to store the data. At any from any other location, you will be able to retrieve the data. But you have to select a proper region and multi-region and dual region. According to that, if you wanted to store and retrieve the data within the region, you can go for the within the region option. And if you go to the multi-region, the data will be retrieved across all the regions. And dual region means within two regions. Okay, we will see this difference. Okay, this is actually takes some time, so we will see this difference tomorrow. Okay, what is the main intention of having a regional service, regional storage and multi-regional storage and dual region storage? Because there is a difference between them, and there is an advantages also there, and there is a cost in terms of a cost also. You can look at it, guys. If I go to the region, the cost will be little lesser. When I say dual region, the cost will be little higher. If I go to a multi-region, the cost will be little more higher. And we will see that tomorrow the main difference why it is so. That is one thing that we will see tomorrow, guys. The fifth point is, as I told you, scalable and secured platform. What does that service, sir? It is a one more final point, sir. It is a scalable and secured platform. So we will see what is meant by secured platform. And I just want you to give you an overall heads up to the Google Cloud Storage. Now you got it. What is a Google Cloud Storage? The only thing you have to understand today is that what is a Google Cloud Storage, and what is the main purpose of having it, who will be taking care of the resources here, and how it operates, how the Google Cloud Storage operates, and what kind of a tool it is, whether it is a storage, worldwide storage or a retrieval service, and whether can we go for a secured, whether it is a secured platform and scalable platform or not. This is the only point you have to understand, guys. Tomorrow we will see how to create a bucket. Inside that, all these things, like when I say secured platform, right? So we can able to say access control, and very basic concepts we are going to see tomorrow. Object versioning. What is mean by all of this terminology? We will see retention policy. Okay. Okay. And one more thing is also there, storage classes. Okay, we can also go for the storage classes. While you are creating a bucket, there is also a storage classes. So tomorrow we will see all of these things, sir. Whenever you wanted to create a bucket, so you can select a proper bucket name and a location where you wanted to. So when you wanted to create a bucket, you have to give a proper name to the bucket. Okay, you have to give a proper name to the bucket, and you have to select the location of the bucket, and you have to select the proper storage class for the bucket, and we have to select the access control, and we have to select the object versioning and retention policy. Retention policy. Okay, tomorrow we will see, in while we are creating a bucket, all of these concepts we will see, because these are the practical concepts. Okay, so what are these, how we have to give a proper name to the bucket, because it is not directly, sir, I can give any name. Okay, it is not like that. It has to be a globally unique name. how to select a location. When I say select a location, we know that we have a region option is there, we have a dual region option is there, we have a multi-region option is also there. And storage classes, there are 4 storage classes like standard, nearline, cold line, and archive. Access control also we have 2 options. Access control at rate bucket level, access control at rate um, object level is also there. So we have to see all of these things while we are creating a bucket. Okay. Today, hope you got some idea about a Google Cloud Storage as well as the different varieties of the services in the cloud platforms. Okay. Yeah. Any questions so far on the Google Cloud platform, guys?
If we created a storage in a region type, after that we can change to multi-region or dual region after
No.
uploading the files in region.
No, that's one. So there are few properties that you can change it. There are few properties once the bucket is created, you cannot change it. Okay. So that is, I have actually properly documented that. Tomorrow, I think we will see. Okay. What is a bucket and how to create a bucket. So bucket configuration. See, when you look at the bucket configuration here the location, you see for the location, this is we have selected a US West one and it is not editable. Okay. So when you create a bucket, you cannot, once you have selected a proper location to that bucket, you cannot later edit it. If you wanted to edit it, you just have to delete your entire bucket and you have to create your bucket with that particular location. Okay, that location is a region, multi-region, dual region as per your question, right? But there are few things as you selected a storage class standard as well as access control fine grained. So labels if you wanted to add. So these are the editable properties. Okay. So this is a metadata of the bucket. There will be a metadata for the object will also be there, guys. There are two things: metadata about object, metadata about bucket. So in a metadata about bucket, you will be able to understand which properties can be changeable even after the bucket is created, and which properties cannot be able to change later after the creation of the bucket. Okay. So as we talking about, once a location is selected, location type region is selected, you cannot change it later. Hope I have answered your question.
Yeah.
Sir, one question.
Yeah.
So in terms of suppose we create a bucket and we have it in one region, and suppose we don't want to delete that bucket, we just want to replicate that bucket and keep a duplicate of that, and with added functionality in terms of adding location as well. So can we do that?
Yes. So this is for, it's a one scenario that what you wanted to do is like you have 2 buckets, right? It's 2 buckets, right? It's not only 1 bucket, right? So as I told
Yeah.
you, because I'll tell you why I said 2 buckets, because when you wanted to create a bucket, the name of the bucket is globally unique name. Okay, you cannot give a same name to the 2 buckets. First thing. Okay, so when you give it 2 names, that means if they are two buckets, right? So what
Yes.
do you wanted to do is like whenever I upload a one file to one bucket, you wanted to have that same file in one more bucket also, because you wanted to copy the
Yes.
data. So that kind of
Yeah.
a scenarios that we can see in our upcoming topics, because I have such kind of a scenarios we can easily have with help of the cloud functions. I will create a one cloud function code. What it that cloud function code will be doing is like it is a serverless platform. In the backend, what it will do, it will try to copy whatever the data that you are uploading to the one bucket, and it will copy it to the one more bucket, so that whenever you do that activity, it will be backend, it will be doing this activity as well, so that there is a copy of your data. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Got it.
Yeah,
Thank you.
this can be done. Yes, we will be having such kind of scenarios, plenty of practical scenarios we are seeing. And I want you to, if you are coming across such kind of a scenarios in your company also, you tell me, we will implement that solution. Okay, so that we will do, guys. Okay, I just don't wanted you to tell you a course and stop it here. I just want you to, if you guys have such kind of a scenario, sir, I am facing this kind of a problem, so can we implement such kind of a solution? or can we at least see an architecture for this solution? So that kind of scenarios we will see if you are coming across. So please let me know. That's not a problem. And someone is asking a question, can you teach how to create a bucket via SDK? Sir, yes, we will create a bucket with the help of the Cloud Shell. Yes, of course. So I will tell you how to create a bucket two ways, sir. You can also see here. So because each and every, I want you to understand this point. I think I might not have told you this point. So let me tell you this point. Where is this? Yeah. So, sir, very important thing. I will write it here. There are two ways. There are more ways, but mainly two ways for me. Two ways to interact with GCP services. There are actually two ways for me. Okay, I don't know how people say, but for me, in my classes, I will tell there are two ways if you wanted to interact with the GCP services. One is UI, one more is code. Okay, one UI is nothing but a control. Code is nothing but a Cloud Shell or Cloud SDK. Okay, or SDK, Cloud SDK. Okay, this is what. In UI, we know that how we are interacting with the help of the user interface, nothing but a drag and drop, clicking something. That is what is a UI. If you wanted to interact with the services, if you wanted to use any service in the GCP, you can go with this way. Okay, this is a manual process. Sir, I wanted to create a bucket, or I wanted to delete something, or I wanted to interact with the Google Cloud Storage. You can also interact from the code, that is Cloud Shell or Cloud SDK, from anywhere. So these things also we will be seeing, guys. It is not that we are also looking, because I wanted to understand the concepts via UI, but tomorrow I wanted to automate it with the help of the code, because we are not just stopping here, because there are professionals who are automating the processes. Automating can only be done with help of the code. So there are two ways to interact with the GCP services. Keep this in mind, sir. Whenever you are getting any doubt, anything can be done with help of the UI, anything can be done with the help of the code. Okay, creating a bucket. Tomorrow, if I wanted to create a bucket, yeah, sorry.
Through code, we can use REST API also.
Yeah, through REST APIs also we can use it, but most of the people using these things. So even I am covering these two only. That is the reason I have mentioned REST API is also there, and there is also one more thing is also there, mobile application also. But most of the times we will be using this thing only. Even in the companies also, people use UI as well as Cloud SDK or Cloud Shell. Yeah. Okay. And one more question: any Terraform Ansible tools required for automation? Sir, no. Any Terraform and Ansible tools required for automation? No, sir. Our main intention is to have a data to be created and automated with the help of the pipeline. So that is what we are going to do. That is SQL plus Python is enough for this course. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
In real time, we will be creating the bucket, or admin team, they will create the bucket and hand over to us.
No. So there are two ways. So if you go to, there are two, it depends upon your company, guys. If you go to the MNC companies, you will be having a dedicated team for the admin. So they will be doing the admin activities. Admin, I would not say admin. So there are two, admin, or you can also DevOps. Okay. They will be taking care of the resources, infra related things. They are taking care of it. Okay. But if you go to the tier 2 companies, tier 3 companies, what they do is like something like startups or some low base, I mean, not product, some basic product based companies are, you know, if you go to small scale companies, what small scale? Okay. What they do is like they will provide an entire, because it is a small startup company and you have to do everything on your own. In that case, you will be getting a chance to work on the UI, you will be getting a chance to creating a bucket, anything. You yourself have to work with the admin activities as well. That means IAM, all of those things, and permissions, roles. You yourself have to create a bucket. But when you are going to the MNC companies, Most of the times they will not providing you access to do that. But there is an environment called sandbox. In that sandbox, you can do anything. But if you look at the prod environment, they will not provide you no access at all. Okay. If you wanted to practice anything, you can go and do it in the sandbox. But in the startup, you will be providing an access to all of the things. You can able to work with that. So this is what it is. Okay. Yeah. You will team BigQuery with loading files with the real-time scenarios. Yes, guys, I will teach. It's not team, right? You will teach. Yes. So you will teach BigQuery with loading files with the real-time scenarios. Don't worry about that. We will be having a plenty of such scenarios. Data proc, data flow, everywhere we are using the BigQuery. And I will take some CSV files. I'll upload it to the. I'll upload them as a. I will upload it to. Sorry, I will create a tables on top of those CSV files. And one more thing also, what we will do is like we will automate that process. Okay, as I told you, I don't want it to manually do it tomorrow. Okay, if a file CSV file available in the GCS bucket, what I wanted to do, sir, automatically it has to create a table inside the BigQuery. Okay, that automatic scenarios we will see. Don't worry about that, sir. Plenty of automations, plenty of scenarios, topics, real-time things we are going to see in our thing, guys. Don't worry about that. Yeah, just to focus on the knowledge, you will be able to get a lot of you know, real-time scenarios from me. The only thing is like, please be attentive during the class. Yeah, yeah. Now, so this is enough for today. What I will do is like I will try to tell you how to create an account. So we will see tomorrow rest of the concepts. Okay. Now let us see how to create a bucket. Sorry, it's already 8:20, guys. Okay. So let me. Can we see it tomorrow or shall we see it today itself? Sir, I would tell you. So some people are asking for the. Yeah. Some people are asking for the slides and some people are asking. So slides I may not be sharing with you, but what I will do is like I will share you the material. Okay, what is that material? It is a very robust, and you see the material for the Google Cloud Storage tomorrow. Today we have seen, right? What is the Google Cloud Storage? This is access to my notes I will give you, sir. What is a GCS? How to create a bucket? All the concepts, high level concepts. And note, oh, here I have mentioned, sir, whenever you use any service in the Google Cloud platform, okay, this is one more thing, two costs associated. One is storage cost, retrieval cost. Tomorrow we will see this point. Okay, so these notes I will provide it to you guys. Okay, I will provide access to the my notebook. This is my OneNote notebook. We will be having all of these things here only, so I will provide access to that. And so that for that one, I want everyone to complete your registrations. Then only there will be a group created. There I will provide the link for that, so that you will be able to access it. And access also not provided to all, guys, only for those who have registered. And if I got an email from the team, I will provide access to that particular email. Okay. Yes. Yeah. So please complete your registration tomorrow. So please remember, make me remember, sir. Tomorrow, first thing we will create a bucket. We will create an account. Okay. Later only we will see the rest of the things. Yeah. Because it's already 8:20. Even I am having some other tasks. Yeah. Okay, guys. Thank you all. Hope you learned something today. So I want you to learn everything, almost everything, every day, whatever we are speaking. If you are unable to understand, please try to ask me. So that wouldn't be a problem. You can raise a question. You can raise anything. If you wanted to see a real-time things also, you can do. Okay. Complete your registration to get the notes, guys. Okay. Thank you all. Hope you learned something today. Thank you all. Hello everyone. Welcome to the session today. Yes. Hello everyone. Good morning. Welcome to the session today. Hope you guys are doing good. So let me just recapitulate what we have discussed in the Google Cloud Storage, and we will see the next topic. Okay. So if you remember, if you can see my screen, I have shared my screen, guys. Hope you guys all can see my screen clearly. Okay. So we now know that what is a Google Cloud Storage. Google Cloud Storage is one of the data lake available in the GCP. And what we can do here, sir, what is this actually? It is an elastic object storage service. Elastic means it is the elastic name suggests that it is a scalability. Okay. So any amount of data you can store, that is what is meant by elastic. A service for storing your objects in the Google Cloud. Object is an immutable piece of data consisting of any file of any format. Okay. What is meant by object, sir? Object is nothing but an immutable piece of data consisting of any file of any format that you can store it here in the Google Cloud Storage. And you store these objects. You store these objects in the containers. What is meant by a container here? Terminology for container is nothing but a bucket. So you create a bucket. Inside that you keep your objects. Objects are nothing but a piece of data of any file of any format. Okay. And one more thing we have also seen. It allows worldwide storage and retrieval, guys. Okay. So of any data at any time. Okay. And these are the use case scenarios that the Google Cloud Storage is usually used in the companies. So serving website content, for example, if there is a website content is there, it is going to be stored in the Google Cloud Storage, and storing the data for archival and disaster recovery, distributed data, large data objects used in via direct download. For example, usually Google Cloud Storage, for example, nowadays you might have seen Netflix and all of those things, right? Most of the movies are usually stored in the data lakes only, but Netflix is actually using the Amazon S3 buckets. Yes, Amazon S3 bucket is very similar to the GCS case. So if you wanted to see a similar service, for example, GCP, we have a GCS, Google Cloud Storage as a data lake. Okay, if you go to the AWS, okay, they have three buckets. It is acting as a data lake there. And if you go to Azure, they call it as a blob storage. Blobs. What is mean by blobs? A blob is nothing but again file. The terminology itself it is like that, sir. Okay. Here in the GCP we call it as a object. Here in the Azure they call it as a blob. Blob is nothing but a file of any format. S3 they usually call it as a files only. Okay. So this is how if you go on premises, what is that, sir? HDFS, Hadoop distributed file system. Okay, so this is one thing. So these are all acting as a data lakes in different environments. Okay, earlier we used to use on premises HDFS is a data lake, but nowadays the cloud platform we are using cloud platforms and GCS S3 buckets blob storage is a data lake. So what are these data lakes? Data lakes are mainly responsible for storing the data and retrieving the data at any time, at any cost, at any amount of data we can store here. So this is what is all about the Google Cloud Storage. And later we have seen how to create a bucket, sir. To create a bucket, we have to provide a global unique name, the location, and storage classes. What about this location, sir? Location has three categories. Either we can go for the region or dual region and multi-region. At any cost, if you don't want it to lose your data, you can go for the multi-region, and the multi-region very low latency, and replication will be available in the largest regions. I mean largest area, you can say. In a dual region, it is also having a replication, a latency also less, but the thing is like only for the replication will be only available in two regions. Dual region means only two regions. But if you go to the region, there is no replication at all. The data will be only available in one single region. If the failover happens in this region, then there is a data loss will be happening. So this is what about region, dual region, and multi-region. And we have also seen the four storage classes. One is standard, nearline, cold line, and archive. Okay. So when we are using the standard for frequently accessing data, and nearline for access once in a month, a cold line once in a quarter, and the archive once in a year. What is the advantage of using the storage classes? In terms of a pricing, you can see here, if you don't select a proper storage class, you are misusing the storage classes. So we select a proper storage class. Standard is for frequently accessed data, so that you can able to, even though the storage cost is higher, but the transaction cost is less. Okay, frequently accessing, and the data will be highly available. Okay, so we will be getting some discount here. Like that for the archive, for accessing the data once in a quarter, the transaction cost is very high, but the storage cost is very less. Again, you get an advantage of storage cost here. So that is how we have to select a proper storage class. Okay, and the storage class is an editable option. Even though once you have created a bucket, you can even change it later as well. So that is also we have seen. Okay, so when we talk about all the features of the Google Cloud Storage, we have all of these things, guys. Regional buckets, object to change notification. If you wanted to go like, we can have a ACLS, object versioning is there, online import, offline import, object lifecycle management. So these are all the features of a GCS. Once you create a bucket, this is the metadata of the bucket, guys. We have seen this already. Okay, once you create an object, this is a metadata of an object. So when you upload this, for example, here you see a size, you see a type, you create a time, you see a storage class, and all of these things. Okay, so you can also edit the metadata, edit the permissions if you wanted to do. Okay, and you can see here objects. Object is an individual piece of data in the form of a file. No limit on the number of objects that you create in a bucket. Okay, this is some question yesterday some people have asked me, right? So there is no limit on number of objects that you can create in a bucket. Objects have no hierarchical relationship. One object to the another object, there is no hierarchical relationships, sir. Okay, and objects can have a different versions as well with the help of the object versioning. Every object has associated storage class, right? This will be inherited from the bucket. So for example, you create that bucket is having a standard storage class. You keep a file, that file also be having the same storage class. So this is how it is. Versioning needs to be enabled to maintain the old versions. Okay. Yep. And this is a object metadata. There are fixed keys, there are custom keys. What does that mean, sir? You see here, storage class, content type. These are something are like fixed data, and you cannot be edited. And there is some information which can be edited. And object lifecycle management. What? Yesterday I have told you, object lifecycle management is something like you can create some kind of a rule, such as like, for example, so far you are using a bucket for the standard, but after 30 days you wanted to be make it as a nearline, so that you will get some benefit of the cost. So for that reason, you can create a rule automatically backend. It will be happening once the 30 days is happening. That particular bucket will be converted from the standard to the nearline or cold line, whatever it is. So such kind of actions, if you have, you can go for the object lifecycle management, guys. Okay. And if you wanted to delete a bucket after some days, you can also do that. Such kind of a rules also you can able to do it. Okay, you can see here, you delete an object after 30 days or something like that, after 40 days, after 60 days. So such kind of a, this is your action, but when it is the condition, based on the condition, it will be, the action will be done. Okay, this is one thing. And working with the Google Cloud Storage, as I told you, most of the times we console as well as this is our GS util. This is a serializer, one line tool, nothing but a shell. Okay, and people also can be used work with the client work with the client libraries to interact with the Google Cloud Storage. Okay, and REST APIs also we can able to use to work with the, to interact with the Google Cloud Storage. Okay, so these are the options that we have. We have seen how to create a bucket from the console. We have also seen how to create a bucket from the Cloud Shell, right? Cloud Shell is what, sir? It's a command line tool. Your console is nothing but a web interface. Okay, so these are the common commands, simple commands that I have given. So for the bucket, if you want, these are the bucket commands, sir. If you want to list all your buckets, GS during the command, you can go to the Cloud Shell and you can use this one, so that it will list out all the bucket names. If you wanted to create a bucket, you can use this. Okay, MB, and this is a location. This is your bucket name. If you wanted to provide access to your bucket, so this is a IAM policy that you, IAM granting access to one of the user, that is google.com. So what kind of access? We are providing a role to them. So for this particular email address, we are providing a object creator, object viewer role on this bucket. Okay, so this kind of things also we can able to do from the Cloud Shell, guys. So you wanted to provide a roles, or you wanted to assign a roles to one of the user and on some bucket, you can also do that with the help of the IAM. If you wanted to delete a bucket, you go and use this particular thing. Okay, normally if you wanted to create a bucket using a project ID, storage class, bucket location, retention policies, and you at the end you mention the bucket name. So this is a code for entire thing. Okay, and after that, for we will see also few commands related to the object as well, sir. If you wanted to upload an object from your machine to the bucket, so this is a something. This is from desktop to your storage bucket. You can also download objects from your bucket, from bucket to your desktop, and a list of the all contents in the bucket. You can also use GS util and the particular bucket name, so that it will provide all the list of the files inside that bucket. If you wanted to make your objects publicly available, you can also apply a rule, IAM rule on top of it. If you wanted to delete an object, you use this one. Okay, so these are the commonly used bucket commands as well as object commands that we have seen here. This is a commonly used bucket command. These are the commonly used object commands, guys. Okay, so these are the general guidelines, sir. General guidelines. Every new, so you can say best practices. You can also think of like that. Every new object inherits a storage class of a bucket. Okay, so whenever you create a file inside a bucket, that bucket will follow the storage class of an sorry. Whenever you create a one file in a bucket, that file will inherit the storage class of a bucket. That means we have seen this already. Okay, for example, you have this bucket. Okay, and if you upload a one file to this bucket, this file will follow the storage class of this bucket. This is what is that mean. Okay, and the bucket storage class can be changed. Editable option. Cannot change the location, multi-regional, regional, or vice versa. So this is something that we cannot change it, sir. Once you create a bucket with the help of one location type, after that you cannot edit this option. This is not an editable option. Okay, when a storage class of a bucket is changed, the existing objects keep their storage class. This is one important point, sir. Okay, so you have this bucket. So far, you are using this bucket as standard. Inside that, you have file 1. Okay, this file 1 be standard only. Okay, but tomorrow you change this option, bucket option, from storage to the nearline. This will not change, but from tomorrow, if you upload one more file 2, that will be having a nearline. So this is how it is. When a storage class of a bucket is changed, the existing objects keep their storage class. Existing object file 1 is your existing object here, sir. That will keep their storage class, existing storage class. But a new files from now on will have a new storage class. So that is how the answer of that question. Okay. So this is a question in one of the yes interviews, not interview, yes exam, associate cloud engineer exam. They have asked this question. Okay. So please be attentive on this thing, guys. When a storage class of a bucket is changed, does the existing buckets or does the existing objects keep their storage class or not? Yes. Existing objects will keep their original existing storage class. From now on, whatever the new file you are uploading, that will be having new storage class. So this is how one thing. And there is a per project rate limit to bucket creation and deletion approximately per request every 2 seconds. So in every 2 seconds, for example, in a 2 seconds, you can only create one bucket, you can only delete one bucket. After 2 seconds, you can do anything. So this is kind of a limitation you can think of, sir. In a 1 second, I wanted to create a bucket and delete a bucket, that cannot be happening. At a 1 second, every 2 seconds, there is only one request. Okay. Maximum size file for individual objects to be stored in the Google is GB. This is one of the yes question again. Okay. Associate cloud engineer exam, they have asked this question. So far we have seen any number of files, any amount of data we can store. Yes, any amount of data we can store in a bucket. But when you create it, if you are seeing this file, one particular file inside a bucket can maximum having a 5 TB. A file of maximum having 5 TB. It should be less than 5 TB, sir. One more file also can be 5 TB, but again that file should also be 5 TB, lesser than the 5 TB. Any number of files you can store here of less than 5 TB, sir. This is one limitation that we have in the Google Cloud Storage buckets. A file cannot be more than 5 TB storage. Okay. Any number of files you can store here, but a file, if I talk about, yeah.
What about bucket size?
Bucket sizes, there is no restriction.
Okay.
Yeah. Only the file is having a restriction, that is 5 TB, less than 5 TB. Okay. So built-in caching is available already in the Google Cloud Storage. We need to worry about it. While creating a bucket, put retry logic in your code to handle name collision. So okay. So this is something that when you wanted to create a bucket from your client libraries, okay. So you have to put a retry logic so that your bucket will not be having a problem, because whenever we try to create a bucket with the help of one name, no, if that name is not available, what we will do, sir? We will try to give up one more name. But when the client library, like one Python code or a Java code, wanted to create a bucket, so what happens is, like, if that particular name of the bucket is already available, the Java code or Python code will fail. So you put a retry logic so that it will try to create one more name and create one more bucket with that name. So that is how it works. Okay, so this is something that I have come up from my experience. Don't use your IDs, email addresses, project names, project numbers, any specific information in bucket names, because bucket names are visible. Okay, a bucket name is a globally visible option, sir. Don't put your sensitive information or P2 information as your bucket name, so that it will be visible to all. So try to come up with a proper unique name according to your business requirement, not as per your project name, not as per your project number, not as per your name, your friend's name, like that. Okay. So this is how all the general guidelines about the bucket creation, sir. Finally, final point, sir, securing the Google is also we have seen with the help of WhatsApp two things. One is IAM, one more is ACLS. IAM is nothing but the identity access management. From Monday on, we are starting this topic, sir. Very important topic. Before entering into any service, we should understand what is the identity, what is the access, what is how we are going to manage the identity and access. Okay, ACLS is access control list. Okay, it will be a part of IAM. Don't worry about that. So what is it is saying, sir? So that bucket is having some files inside that. So that is what we are calling as the objects. So if you wanted to manage the access of an entire bucket, you can go to the IAM. This is a symbol of IAM, sir. Okay. This is IAM. And if you wanted to manage the individual buckets as well as total entire buckets, this is ACLS. Both ACLS, nothing but access control list. When you select object fine-grained version, right? Fine-grained access control, it will we can able to access both object access as well as the entire bucket access. So this is what is all about securing the Google Cloud Storage. Okay, what kind of a policies that you can put, sir? Reader, writer, owner, bucket roles. Okay, from the IAM also you can able to put those things. From the ACLS also you can able to put those. If it is the object level, you will be able to put these things. If it is the bucket you will be able to put these things. Bucket level is IAM, object level is ACLS. Done. Any questions, sir, so far? So with this one, we have completed our Google Cloud Storage from end to end, sir, with even with the practical things as well, I believe. If you guys have any questions on the Google Cloud Storage, you can ask me.
In real time,
I will try to help you on this. Yeah.
In real time, we will create the bucket, or the DevOps team they will create the bucket.
Sorry.
In real time, we do have the permission for creating the bucket.
Oh, of course, we have a permission to create a bucket. It's
Okay.
not that I manually create a bucket. What I will do, for example, is like, for example, you are working in a sandbox environment. You wanted to try it out. You can create your own bucket, and you keep your own files, and you work with the data processing. You work with the BigQuery loading. So anything you can do it. Yes. And in the real time, one more is, for example, sir, do I have access to the prod environment creatable? Can I create a bucket inside it? If you wanted to do that manually, we never do that, but we will try to create a bucket with help of the Terraform or something. So that Terraform is storing some kind of a files inside that. So that is how one more thing. But usually if it is a sandbox environment or it is your pilot project where you wanted to try it out, yes, you can able to create. In the companies, they are allowing you to create a bucket. Yes, we can do that. It's not that DevOps team will take care of it. DevOps team does not need it. It's a very simple thing. Okay. Storage of a bucket is very simple. Yeah.
So what is offline import and what is online import?
So if you wanted to, connect it to your SDKs and import the data, that is one thing. Or you are in the Google Cloud Storage and import the data, that is also one more thing. So that is how we do.
SDK means I'm not.
SDK is nothing but a software development kits. Are usually, so some people wanted to load the data to the Google Cloud Storage from their local machine, and the data is very huge but the Cloud Shell is having only the 5 GB persistent disk, right? Disk storage is 5 GB only in the Cloud Shell. If I wanted to store a 10 GB of file inside my Cloud storage, in that way, Cloud Shell is not useful for me. In that case, what I will do, I will download a Cloud SDK. I can upload that. So that is one way of doing it. That is what we call online and offline. And one more thing is like there are transfer appliances. This is one more important thing. What is transfer appliances? We will see in our upcoming classes, but I wanted to give you understanding. So for example, sir, you have a lot here that is think that some 10 GB. Okay. You wanted to move 10 GB to your GCS, Google Cloud Storage. Okay, you use in the in the Google Cloud Storage, we have a transfer appliances and we have a transfer services. Okay, what this will do is automatically you will connect it to this, so you connect it to your destination as your GCS. This will take care of transferring the data from this local machine to your GCS bucket. So this is also we have. So this is what we are calling as the online offline imports. Any amount of data we can store, we can upload it. If it is a simple file, we manually do it. If it is a large file, we can provide it to the transfer services. Any other questions, guys?
Okay, there is no limit for data to transfer.
There's no limit. We can store any amount of data. Yes. So this is how, because we are came to a situation, or we are in a technology right now where almost all the limitations we have removed. For example, when we were working in a 10 years before, 15 years before, when I started my career, what happened is like we used to have on-premises things. For example, if I wanted to maintain cluster, if I wanted to store the data, what I have to do is like I have to a company has to maintain its own data center. A company has to manage all its storage equipment, all of those things, right? So if they wanted to store an extra data, they have to go and buy an extra equipment for the storage.
Right.
Now that is something, managing that data is not easy again. So for example, even though I plugged in everything and all the connections are good, but if I wanted to retrieve the data, it takes a lot of time for me. Okay, and loading the data from one storage device to one more storage device also, it was taking a lot of time at that time. Now from that situation we came to a situation that with even very less time we can able to even store some petabytes of the data in the Google Cloud storage as well. So that's how we are in a situation. Okay, so there is no point of talking about that's where, because why we are using the cloud is because scalability. Okay, any amount of data I wanted to store, because I don't want to worry about storage, I don't want to worry about my networking, I don't want to worry about my CPU, RAM, all of these things. All these things are scalable, sir. When I say scalable, today you use some amount of storage today, tomorrow you wanted to use almost 10 types of today's. Okay, in that case also it is fine. You can store it, you can use it. Even the RAM also. Today you have selected some, some 4 GB of RAM, but tomorrow you need it like 20 GB of RAM or 40 GB of RAM. So that is also available. Power, machine power is also available. So that is where we are now. That's the main reason that we are using a Google Cloud platforms. Yeah. Any other questions, guys?
Do you have any script? Through script also we can create a bucket?
Yes,
Like
through
Python
script
or
also we can create a bucket. So what we will do, while we were talking about this one, sir, data proc, or while we were talking about data flow, cloud composer. Anyway, at that time we are using a Python. Okay, so in the, we will see how we are creating a bucket from the Python and how we are storing the data. So that we will see from there. Okay.
okay.
Yeah. So I want us to understand now. We now know what is a Google Cloud Storage, and we got some idea about, okay, this is what we talked about, a data lake and all, right? So let me tell you how to create an account today. We have time. Of course, yeah, one offline file can be stored in different buckets. Yes, we can store it. So you have a one file you wanted to store in a multiple buckets, that can be stored. And also I will tell you guys, this is not the thing. Okay, I just want you to understand that in the companies how they are using, I will tell you. Okay, so this is a requirement. For example, this is your bucket one, sir. Okay. You can think of this bucket one is your transactional bucket. Okay, and this is your archival bucket. We will be having a use cases or scenarios like that. We will be actually doing automating these kind of things. Think that this is okay. Sorry, this is bucket 2. Okay, in this bucket, so usually, sir, I am going. What I will have to do is like I have to send this data from the bucket to the BigQuery, a data warehouse. You can think of data warehouse. And with before doing that, I wanted to do some data processing. I am using some data flow. So what I am doing, sir, I am doing this activity, I am doing this activity. Okay, Once this entire activity, for example, from sales.csv. So this is a scenario, sir. There is CSV file, sales.csv file. I got a data from the business. Okay, there is a business is happening behind the scene, and from that business I got a data, and I am using a data flow for transformation and loading the data to the data warehouse. So once the data is there in the data warehouse in the form of a table, I don't need this file, right? I don't need this file to be here, because once the processing is done, I wanted to move that file to automatically move that file from bucket 1 to bucket 2, because this is an operational bucket. This is a history bucket. All the tracking of the files will be stored here. So you will be able to move this file from bucket 1 to bucket automatically. So such kind of a scenarios we will see in our upcoming classes, how we are managing this kind of activities. Okay, it's not that I wanted to manually do it, sir. Once this pipeline is done, once the data is available in the data warehouse, I wanted it to be moved to the bucket 2. This is something that I am not available, because things that we are not available all the time, right? So once the pipeline runs successfully, the file has to be moved from bucket 1 to bucket 2. So this kind of scenarios are very important in the companies. And one more thing is like, so as soon as one file is created, so there is also one more requirement. As soon as the file is created in this bucket, I wanted to load that file into one more bucket as well, because I provide access to this bucket to many people. Okay, I provide access to many people. But I don't want anyone to touch this bucket, because I don't want anyone to touch this bucket. So if I provide access to many people, they may do some kind of activities on the file. So the file may be corrupt, or the file may be modified, the file may be deleted. Okay, so this is a bucket 2. As soon as the file is created, it should be copied to the bucket 2 as well. Okay, and whatever the files I created here, automatically it should be copied to the bucket 2. This bucket 2 I will provide access to many people, but this bucket I never provide access to anyone. The only thing that I do is like I just copy it from this bucket 1 to bucket 2, so that different teams can have these files. Whatever the files that were, different teams can follow, because there will be a machine learning team, there will be a data lake team, there will be a data warehousing team, there will be an analytics team, there will be a looker team. So what they will do is like they take this file for a sample purpose, or they will take this file as their input, and they will try to do some kind of activity on top of it, right? So for that purpose, I will provide him access to different teams. But this file I wanted it to be keep myself, because if I even because if I lost the files from here, I don't have any location where I can retrieve it. So that's where I will be keeping my bucket 1 as my main repository. This is my secondary repository. So this is how I am planning in companies. Okay, so for this scenarios also, we will be seeing in our upcoming classes how we are planning this kind of things with the cloud functions. Okay. So let me try to create them. Let me try to tell you how to create an account, sir, in the GCP. If anyone having their debit card or credit card ready, and their username and password with the Google Cloud Gmail is ready, if they can share with me, sir, I can create an account for them. Okay, so it would be easy for others the process as well. So if anyone having such thing, if they wanted to create a bucket, sorry, if they wanted to create a Google account, so let us try to do it. Anyone want to tell you the process, or if anyone have their credentials ready, they can share it with me, sir. I will tell you how to create a Google Cloud account now. Okay. Anyone want me to try it?
I have one more doubt. We are using Terraform, right? We'll be using any Jenkins for creating pipeline, or it's a different?
No, we are not actually using the Terraform. Actually, in our classes, we are not actually worried about what is that, because it's not a DevOps class. It's a data engineering. But I'll tell you. So people using Terraform for infrastructure building. There will be a control manager tools are also there. Okay, for managing the infrastructure. After the creation of infrastructure, they wanted to manage the activities, right? So there will be a CMT tools. and there will be Ansible and all of those things are also there. But the mainly the thing is like nowadays the Terraform is very famous for infrastructure building, and it is very easy not to worry about, because there is also people use ARM templates also, template methods also they will use for infrastructure building. But mainly Terraform is becomes very famous, and it is very easy to use, because there is only 5 to 6 concepts. The only thing is like how we can create a resource. That is the main important thing. Research creation is the something that we can directly learn from the Google also. I'll go to the Terraform public website, and I'll just copy the code of a resource, and I'll just make use of that code according to my business requirement. So that's all. But mainly Terraform, Ansible, different tools are also there. But we are not learning in our course. This course is only for data engineers. Yeah. Yeah. Sir, with the help of Gmail, can we create a free account? Yes, we can. With the help of a Gmail, we can create an account. Please, anyone, if you guys wanted to create an account on behalf of you, so I will try to create an account. Just to provide your username and password from the Gmail and your credentials, like debit card. That's it. Okay, I will create an account for you online here. Some people, other people also can able to see the process, because I have created my account, so that's the reason. I will give 2 minutes if anyone wanted to try it out. Yeah. So okay, a password also, can you keep it? Can you approve this one? So this is how first we enter the Gmail username as well as password, sir. Once we enter the Gmail username and password, we are inside the Google Cloud platform. We just logged into the Google Cloud platform. Once we have logged into the Google Cloud platform, this is how the first page looks like. Okay. So this is how the first page looks like, guys. Okay. Once this first page is looking like this, you select this is your Gmail account, and you select your country properly, and you click on terms of service, agree to the terms of service, and click on continue. Okay. Once you have clicked on continue, so this is the place where you wanted to activate. You see here at the top, you will be able to see. So this is something that you have to understand. Once you have entered into the Google Cloud, you have to activate your free trial status. Okay, for that one, there are, even though if you don't see this option, you will be able to see this reward option. You can click on it. Or even though if you don't see that option also, you will be able to see try for free. Okay, you can click on this activate button. You can click on this try free, any option. Click on this thing. Once you clicked on this thing, you will be going to the next page where you have to enter your details. Okay. There are 2 steps. I will tell you one by one. There are actually 2 steps here, guys. Okay. So you enter your country and what is your main need of creating this account. Main need of creating this account. This account, I am creating it for startup idea. I'll click on terms and service. I agree to the terms and service and click on continue. What I have done, sir, I have selected a proper country, and I have selected my business idea and startup idea as my need, and I will click on continue. Okay. Now, once the in the second step, this is our final step, sir. What we have to do is like we just have to enter our the card details and we have to enter the tax information. For the tax information, click on the tax information, tax status, click on unregistered individual. That's it. Okay. Click on this one. For the card details, we have to provide the card details, sir. Can you share me? So, are you sharing your details, Vijay Lakshmi? You do not have it ready? Yeah. So I got it. So here it is, guys. So
Screen isn't recording.
I will blank it. Okay. I will just okay. Yeah. So you provide your card details, guys. No one will be able to see my screen now. So let's wait because I will try to enter the card details properly. The card number is invalid, Vijay Lakshmi. Can you share your proper details? Can you check it once? One number is missing, I believe.
Everything is right, sir.
Everything is right. 3611. There will be two numbers are missing, right? If you can see, there will be 16 numbers, right, for any card.
Voting is there. Credit card, sir.
Oh, but why it is saying invalid? Oh, this is not working. I know why. No, it's not working. So you try to create an account, but this is how, sir. So let me tell you the process. I'll tell you the process, guys. Hope you guys can see my screen.
Yes.
Okay. So you enter your credit card number. Once a credit card number or debit card number is entered, and once you have to provide your CVV or all of those things, and you click on Start My Free Trial. What it will do is like it will debit 2 rupees from your account, and you have to complete your transaction. It will ask for OTP. You complete the transaction. Only 2 rupees will be debited, sir. Once the 2 rupees is debited, you have to click on this. Start my free trial option so that your account will be created with the $300. You will be able to see that option in the billing details. Okay, so this is how the process. The process is also I have listed here, sir. I will tell you the process here as well. Okay, somewhere there is a process account creation. Yes. Okay, so you go to this particular website. I will paste the website in our chart so that all people will have this. Okay, I have pasted the website in the chart, guys. Okay, and some people, sorry. Okay, so you go to the particular website, you provide your Google username and password. Okay, once you login is successful, your account is created. So welcome to the console. Choose your country and agree and continue. Okay, so at the top you will be able to see this option. Click on activate. So you have to enter two things. One is your country name. One is your business idea. You enter that. And after that continue, you enter your payment details. You add your payment details. Click and start your free trial. That's it, guys. Okay, once you have entered your payment details, there will be a page opens for your transaction of that payment. That transaction debits only 2 rupees, guys. Once that transaction is successful, your account with the free trial status is created. So that is what is a very simple thing, guys. Only 2 steps. First step is very simple. In the second step, you have to enter your card details and complete the transaction. Once the transaction is completed successfully, you will be able to do it simply. Your account will be created with a free trial status of 300 credits. Where I can see that if you ask me, sir, if you go to, okay, where it is like if you go to so that I will be able to show you how it be. Just recently only I have created my account. It's been just week, I guess. So once your account is created, guys, if you what you can do is like you can just directly go to the billing, click on the billing on the left navigation. Okay, so you will be able to see if you go down on the right side, if you go down, you'll be able to see like this. No cost of trial credit. This is how for you it will be showing here 90 days and almost 24,825 rupees will be added to your credits. So 24,825 credits will be added to your account. For next 90 days, you can use these credits for working with the Google Cloud platform. Okay, so this is the process, guys. Once you created your account, you will be able to see here 24,825 rupees or 24,000 rupees plus, so that you will be able to use these credits for your experimentation purpose in the GCP. Whatever the activity that you wanted to do, whatever the tool you wanted to learn, practice, whatever the thing, you can do it here with these credits. This is a lot more credits, guys. Even though you use it, if you use it very perfectly without creating any, without leaving the instance idle, then you will be able to use maximum in the 90 days is like 10,000 only. Other 14,000, other 10,000 will be wasted. Okay, try to use it for maximum, practice more in this 90 days and you will be able to get a lot of knowledge from it. Yeah, so this is how you can create an account, guys. The only thing is like first you have to enter your, go to this particular website which I have pasted in the chart and you provide your username, password. Click once you are entered into the login page, provide your username and password, and once the login is successful, go to the console, click on this activate button or try for free. You enter your there will be 2 steps. One is you have to enter your country name and organization need. After that you have to enter your payment information. Once the card details are entered, you have to complete the transaction with OTP, then account gets successfully created. So this is what it is. Okay, so this is okay. Once the, if you wanted to use any service, you go to the GCP, select your project, proper project, or create a new project, enable the billing, choose a service which you wanted to do, which you wanted to practice, and enable the API of that service and start using the service. That's it. Okay.
In free period, can we create a new project?
We can create any number of projects. I think for free trial status, we can create maximum 10 projects. Okay.
There is no bill for that.
There is no
billing cycle for
there
that.
won't be any bills, sir. All the bills will be debited from our free trial status only. All that, whatever the thing that you are doing, all will be debited from your free trial status. For creating a new project, there won't be any bill. If you use any resources, that's where the cost will be tracked. Yeah. Any questions? Anyone tried to create an account now?
Already created.
Okay, that's great, guys. If anyone has not created, try to create it, guys, so that you from tomorrow or Monday onwards, we can able to further go into the more deeper, so that we'll be able to look at each practice. So come up with your account and try to practice this, how to create a bucket from the console as well as Cloud Shell, and try more questions as well on the Cloud Shell, guys. In the Cloud Shell, you can look at how to create a folder and how to move a folder from one bucket to one more bucket, how to move a file from one file to one bucket to one more bucket. Those kind of activities you do it, so that you will be able to comfortable with the Cloud Shell as well. Okay. Yeah.
Uh, so what is the tools you use for the migration of data from on-prem storage
Yeah.
to GCP bucket?
How it's different from data engineer with GCP and big data engineer with GCP?
Yeah. So one question at a time. Yeah, I'll tell the answer to that question. Data engineer with the GCP and that one. Yes, someone is asking one more question. A data migration. Can you tell me that?
So what are the tools you use for data migration from on-prem to GCP, the
Yeah.
cloud data migration?
Yeah. So this is a one more question. So first thing, the first question was this one, sir. What is the difference between the data engineer in GCP and a big data engineer in GCP? So more are same, guys. Okay, more are same. Both are same almost. The data engineer, what they will do, a big data engineer, what they will do, it's a terminology, because the role is like that. But the data engineer, some people call it as a big data developer, some people call it as a data engineer in some companies. But as a data engineer, we will be working on these tools only. As a big data engineer, also we will be working on these tools only. Okay. And if you go to the different companies, they will be having a different role names. That's it. But as an engineer, data engineer or big data engineer, both are same. Okay. But nowadays the terminology, the trend came to like this: a data engineer working with the own small set of the data, but big data engineer working on a large data set. But the idea is that might be starting about I mean, that's where we have started. But the thing is, like, nowadays both are working on both areas. Okay, that's one thing. And one more question is, what are the tools that we are using for the data migration in the GCP? Yes, that's a good question. So there are plenty of the things that we can use in the data migration. So first thing is, like, either you can go for the data processing systems. Nowadays people are using the data flow from Oracle to the Cloud SQL, or Oracle to the BigQuery. We can use data flow. Or for the, if you wanted to migrate to the Cloud SQL, for example, I have an on-premises MySQL, sir, I wanted to move it to the on-premise cloud MySQL. In that case, what you can do is, like, you can use DMS service, data migration service also you can use. Or you can export, import, export option also you can go for that. So you can directly export your entire database into the some form of a dump file and import it here. That is also you can do it. So there are plenty of other ways. While we were talking about a data migration, so these are the ways we will be looking at. But these are the ways that we can. Yeah.
In real time, we will be working on all the tools like that.
There are many questions I'm having at a time. Yeah, can you guys actually ask one at a time? Actually, there are different people on this meeting, so that's the reason. So yeah, Chinna is asking one question. Can you ask?
Yeah, in real time, we'll be using all the tools at a time, or a particular tool
No,
depends based on the
no.
project.
There will be a particular tool at a time.
Okay, data proc or data flow.
Yeah,
Like
data proc or data flow or data processing system like that. Yeah.
okay, but all this BigQuery is mandatory, right?
Database also BigQuery.
Here we are using any ETL tool for that also.
Yeah. So Poonam, you are asking some questions, right? Yeah, can you ask me now? Yeah.
Yeah, in ETL tool also we are using like Informatica or Tableau here for.
Here we are using. You are asking.
Sorry.
Okay, I did not understood your question. Your voice is very low. Can you talk a bit louder?
Yeah, I'm asking for this data migration or for data engineers, some tools are also required, ETL tools. So what tool ETL tools?
Yes. That's a very good question. So we need not to worry about ETL. When I say data Google Cloud project, all the tools are here inside the Google Cloud only. So when I say if I want a ETL tools, we have a ETL tools in the Google Cloud. If you wanted to have a dashboard tools, we have a visualization tools also. If I wanted to have a data warehouse, I have a data warehouse here. So when I say Google Cloud project, it's all the tools we are going to use from the Google Cloud only. But nowadays there is a concept of hybrid cloud also came into the multi-cloud also came into the picture. But when I say it, if I am working in a Google Cloud project, the ETL tool from the Google Cloud only, and the data warehouse is from the Google Cloud only. So that's all. We know we don't need to go to the SSIS or Informatica. Yeah.
Okay.
So guys, someone is asking a question, but I can't hear it. It could be a reason that there is some network issue or something. No, something is wrong, guys. I cannot actually hear it. Someone is talking, but I cannot hear it. Can you try unmute yourself and talk now? I have muted yourself. Can you unmute yourself and talk now? Okay, I believe no one is having any questions. No, don't worry about, sir. I will tell you what is the trend in the company. And with this, we will try to close our session today. So, for example, for the data ingestion, we need not to go anywhere because in the GCP we have a GCP tools are there. Okay. One more is data processing. We need not to go to any other tool in the for the data processing. We have a GCP. Okay. And for data warehousing, we have GCP tools again. And for data migration, we can use it with the GCP. For ETL, we have GCP. For scheduling, for scheduling also we have a GCP. So we have a plenty of different services in the GCP that we can use it for ingestion purpose, storing purpose, processing purpose, warehousing purpose, migration purpose, ETL and scheduling. So we need not to go to anywhere. Even though, for example, when you are learning working with the Azure also, the same thing. When you are working in the Azure also, Azure will be having all of these tools. Even the AWS will have all of these things. Even the Google GCP will also have all of these things. Okay, so one person is working in Azure. Does that mean he will be using all the Azure tools for his entire project? Okay, that is one thing. Yeah, someone is putting a chart. Do we get a practical knowledge on these topics from these classes? Of course, we will be getting a practical knowledge on it. There will be a scenario based questions, and there will be a scenario real-time project oriented topics also we are going to discuss. Yes, there are 4 to 5 real-time projects are there, which will be very helpful for you to understand the data processing, data ingestion, data warehousing, data migration, and ETL case study. Okay, so this is something that we are going to have it. So yeah, any other questions, guys?
Notes, sir.
Can I have the
Okay,
PPT,
guys.
sir? To this PPT till that.
PPT, I will not be able to share you. I will share you my material. My material is equivalent to the PPT only, so which will be having all the information. Monday, I will share it with you guys. Okay, so all the information will be here. How to do what and how to work with the shell also. It is here. How to work the normal topics, whatever we are discussing. I will try to keep it here so that you will be able to have it later. Okay. Yeah, tomorrow Monday onwards we are going to talk about IAM. So this is going to be IAM, guys. What is IAM? What we are going to do with the IAM? All of these things we are going to discuss here.
Okay, so can you, sir, ping that command line? Try to build
Sorry?
that command lines which you used to build that bucket. I need that.
Yeah, we'll share you that, sir. It's not that much easy. For now, we are just created how to store the data in the bucket, right? Maybe some point of time, maybe tomorrow or day after tomorrow or after few weeks, we will be able to see how to retrieve the data from the Google Cloud Storage and how to do the processing on top of it. That's where the Google Clouds to understand, you are going to appreciate the technology of the Google Cloud Storage. Now it will be easy that, okay, it is for only storing and retrieval. That's what you will think about it. But tomorrow you will be able to understand how we are retrieving it, how it will be very useful. Okay. Yeah. Okay, guys. So that is it for today. What you guys have to do for me is like, you just have to complete the registration, sir. So from Monday onwards, the link will be different. Okay. Monday onwards, link to class will be changed. So complete your registrations so that you will be able to have a classes in without any interruption. And this is something that I want you to understand. Okay. Enroll to this course so that we will be able to have a classes regularly. Yeah. Thank you all. If anyone have not completed their enrollment, just please try to complete it. Okay. Our team try to call you, and based on that, you will be able to complete your registration. Thank you all.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your time. Have a great day. Hello, guys. Very good morning, everyone. Hope you guys are doing good. Welcome to the session today. So, let us start the session. If you remember, yesterday we had discussed about the introduction of the Google Cloud Storage, right? What is a Google Cloud Storage, guys? Google Cloud Storage is one of the fully managed service. What does that mean? One of the fully managed means, fully managed is nothing but all the resources required for the managing the files as well as storing the files and retrieving will be taken care by the GCP itself. We need not to worry about that thing. The only thing we have to worry about is like how to create a bucket and how to upload a file. And after that, how to make sure the data is controlled, and need not to worry about the resources required to build this GCS. And one more thing, we have to worry about what are the storage classes we need to take care of it, and the location as well as object version. And what kind of a tool it is, guys? If you ask me, Google Cloud Storage is a service for storing your any type of a data, any kind of a data, any number of files we can store here. And how the Google Cloud Storage operates? Google Cloud Storage operates via bucket, okay, and objects. What is a bucket, guys? A bucket is nothing but a container to store your objects. And what is your file object, guys? Object is nothing but a file. Okay, it allows worldwide storage and retrieval. It is a scalable and secured platform. So this is all about a introduction to the Google Cloud Storage. Now the question is how to create a bucket. Sir, as I told you, if I wanted to work with any of the service in the GCP, there are two ways. One is via console, one more is via command line tool. Okay, so let me open. Okay, so if I wanted to work with a uh, interact, to interact with GCP, how many ways we can interact with the GCP? Guys, there are plenty of ways. There are REST APIs, there are many things, but mainly as a developer, as a data engineer, we are going to work with, we are going to focus on two things. Okay, that is, one is user interface. That is what we call as a console. One more is command line tool. That is your shell or SDK. Okay, so these are the two ways that we can work with. Now the question is how to create a bucket from the console. That is one thing, and also how to create a bucket from the command line tool. So these are the two things that we will see, guys. Okay, So now let us see. Let me go to the console and tell you how to create a bucket and how to interact with the, and while creating a bucket, what are the things that we have to take care? One by one we will see. And likewise, how to create a bucket from the command line tool. That means with the help of the commands, with the help of the Linux commands, how to create a bucket also we will see. Okay, all of these things one by one we will see. Okay, for that one, let me go to my let me go the console. Okay, login in. I am logging into my console, guys. Google Cloud. Okay, so let me first give you an introduction to the Google Cloud platform here, the interface. So when you logged into your Google Cloud, so this is how the interface looks like. Okay, in the interface top left, you will be able to see all the services. This is your navigation menu where you will be able to see all the list of services or the products available in the Google Cloud. Okay, so this is one thing. And one more thing, once you have here, so everything is worked via project, guys. Okay, this is something that we are going to start maybe tomorrow or day after tomorrow, about what is a project and how to interact with all of these things we will see tomorrow, guys. But for now, just understand that. So when you wanted to work with any of the service in the GCP, okay, when you wanted to work with any of the service in the GCP, we have to enter, we have to select a proper project. Either we have to select an existing project or we can create a new project. Okay, how to create a new project, guys? Click on this new project. You will provide your project ID, project number, that's it. Okay, new project will be created. So each and every product in the GCP will be uh, can be tracked from the project only, and billing also enabled from the project only. If you don't select a proper project, the project you cannot be able to work with any of the resources. And one more thing, you have to enable the billing only, otherwise you can able to need not to, unable to work with the GCP services. And while you are working with any of the service, there will be a API, you have to enable the API. All these things are linked to a project only, because all the tracking of the billing will be done from the projects. Okay, so this is one thing, guys. Okay, now once you have here, sir, if you wanted to work with any of the service in the GCP, either you can go to the left navigation menu, select that service. Like if you are working with the Google Cloud Storage, you can select here. No, you wanted to directly select it, you can directly search that particular service. You can also select from here. Okay, Google Cloud Storage. And after that, sir, there is a free trial status, how much amount of money that is left in your free trial status and how many days it is, you can able to see from here. Okay, and here this is where you can able to activate your Cloud Shell, sir. If we wanted to work with the Cloud Shell, nothing but a command line tool, where this is where the place you have to go and click on activate the Cloud Shell. When you click on activate the Cloud Shell, one more at the bottom you will be able to see a command line tool will be opened for us. It takes like almost 30 seconds. For the first time it can take 30 to 40 seconds. You see here a Cloud Shell terminal will be opened for us. Okay, so this is a we will see what is actually a Cloud Shell and what kind of a tool it is and how to an introduction to the Cloud Shell also I will tell you guys. But now let us not worry about that. And after that, this is where you will be able to see all the notifications when you create a bucket, when you delete a bucket, when you move something, you will be able to see here. And the settings, you if you wanted to go to the project settings, you can go for from here. And all the if you wanted to add one more account, a sign out account, and you wanted to look at your account details, so from here you will be able to do it. So this is all about the interface of the Google Cloud, guys. In a Google Cloud, you will be able to have a navigation menu for selecting the each and every service, or go to the search box for selecting a proper service. And one more thing is like you can select a proper project from here. Either you can select an existing project or create a new project. And here you can go to the project settings as well from here. Okay. And one more thing is like activate Cloud Shell. So you can able to see the Cloud Shell was activated. You will be able to see. So whenever you are working from the console, also the very first thing is like you select a project, right? Likewise, whenever you work from a Cloud Shell, also you select a proper project. Okay, so this project by default the this project is selected. How I know every project is tracked with the help of their project ID, guys. So this is your project ID, arboreal avatar, right here you see arboreal avatar. So this is your project ID. And if you wanted to select one more project from the Cloud Shell, so the thing here is like you have to mention this one Google Cloud config set project, and that project ID you have to mention, so that you will be able to enter one more project. And here from the console, if you wanted to go to a one more project, you directly click on that one. So like how you are clicking on this one, you click on one more project, that project will be selected. So if you are working in that project, that means all the billing will be enabled to that particular project only. Okay, so this is what is all about the introduction to the GCP console as well as Cloud Shell, guys. And I want you to understand what is a Cloud Shell also now. Okay, I think do I have somewhere the Cloud Shell information? No. No. Yeah, here it is. Yes. Okay, so what is a cloud? As I told you guys, if anyone wanted to interact with the GCP services, there are two ways. Okay, the very first thing is web user interface. Then the very next thing is command line tool, that either Cloud Shell terminal or an editor. Sorry, Cloud Shell terminal or SDK. So these are the two ways that we can work with. And one more thing, what is a Cloud Shell? Because we know that console is a web interface. We know how the web interface works. But what does this Cloud Shell serve? A Cloud Shell is a very small Linux operating system, guys. It is a command line tool. It has a 5 GB storage. Storage size is 5 GB, and it has a language support to SQL, Python, Go, Java, all of these things. If we wanted to work with the shell, we first activate it. After that, we select a proper project and use shell commands and Linux commands to interact with the each and every services. Okay, so this is what is a Cloud Shell, guys. You should not you should understand that the Cloud Shell is a very small machine. When I say very small machine, it does have a Linux operating system, and it is having only 5 GB persistent disk storage, and it has a language support to SQL, Python, Go, Java. Okay, so whenever you wanted to interact with any of the service from the Cloud Shell, you provide a proper command from the Cloud Shell to interact with that particular service. That commands will be available. I will tell you how to do that because I have listed here. Okay, one by one we will see. We need not to hurry. We are not in a hurry, guys. So what we will do? So whenever I interact with any of the services, there are two ways I will tell you. For example, today I am working about a Google Cloud Storage. I will tell how to create a bucket from the console. I will also tell you how to interact with the Cloud Shell, how to interact with the Google Cloud Storage from the Cloud Shell also. Okay, two ways we will see. Now we understood that the interface, there are two ways that we can interact. One is console and via Cloud Shell. Now we will go to the Google Cloud Storage and try to create a bucket on the console.
Hello.
Yep.
I want doubt, sir.
Yeah.
So what is the difference between this cloud shell, which are working with the Linux operating system you told, no? Shell.
Yes.
So what is the difference between this cloud shell and the SSH? During the compute engine we are creating now, so there we are getting into the SSH. The same screen is getting what different is there?
Where will be able to interact with each and every service in GCP. And one more, this SSH terminal is only for that particular virtual machine, right? So you cannot interact with all the GCP services. If you want to interact with that particular virtual machine, what you provide some commands, you wanted to upload some file, you wanted to delete some file, you wanted to see some information, you wanted to access some information, you wanted to provide some permission. So all of those things are related to that particular virtual machine. Okay, there also you will be using a Linux commands, and those commands are also similar. But the thing is, like, it is only specific to that virtual machine. But here, Cloud Shell is a overall service or in general service or a primitive service where you can able to interact with each and every service in the GCP. All the resources, all the permissions, everything can be done from the Cloud Shell as well. So that is the main difference, guys. Okay.
Okay, sir. Then what is the purpose of SSH? We can directly interact with what are the comments we are giving in SSH? The
No,
same
no,
command
no.
we can
So you have to understand that one more thing is like, if I wanted to interact, because see, a virtual machine, as I told you, you have to understand this thing as well. A cloud shell is a small machine. When I mention a small machine, it have only the 5 GB persistent disk storage. And when you go to the virtual machine will be having a lot of storage. Sir, I wanted to move a file from a file of 10 GB to a virtual machine, that I can do, but I cannot load it to the Google Cloud Shell, right? Because it has only 5 GB. When I say 5 GB, you can only store until 4.5 GB of storage only. So it's not possible. But when I say virtual machine, you can able to store any amount of data as per your storage requirements. If you have given a configuration of storage like 500 GB, you can store 500 GB also. You can store 1 TB also. According to your requirement, you create a virtual machine. But it is not, it is just a small machine to interact with this and that. But it is not for running a heavy things. Okay, even you go for a heavy complex things, it will not, it will struck, because it's a very small machine. But SSH terminal is a very, it's like your shell commands. Okay, you for example, you have a laptop, right? When you go to a laptop, you have a command line tool, right? That's like your SSH terminal. Okay, that means when you wanted to work with your laptop, you have a your user interface that you go do this and that. But in the command line tool, you have a command CMD. When you enter a command called CMD in your search button, you will be able to open that command line tool. You can also work with from the command line tool from any of the to any of the services. Okay, when you wanted to work with any of the services in your local laptop, so if you wanted to work with this thing, that thing, you can able to work with. So that is like your SSH terminal. Okay, a full machine and its own everything will be controlled by SSH. Not only the SSH. If you open, for example, if your virtual machine is a Windows operating system, then you can again do with a user interface also. Okay, but if you have selected a Ubuntu or Debian, so then you can able to only work with the commands only in that case. So that is what that command line tool is, nothing but a SSH terminal. Yeah.
Well, okay. Whether that G Cloud and GS Util, both commands will work in SSH.
Of course, yes, it will work. G Cloud commands will work, yes. But you have to import it before that. Okay, because SSH terminal is specific to that virtual machine, but it does not understand the Google Cloud. Even though I am working in a Google Cloud, it does not understand. So what you do, you import all the modules. Okay, when you import all the modules, it will work.
All the module fits.
So we will see in our upcoming classes.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So guys, so Google Cloud Storage we are seeing, right? So how to create a bucket and how to interact with the how to create a bucket, how to create a folder, and how to upload a file inside this Google Cloud Storage. One by one we will see now. Okay, so for example, when you are inside a Google Cloud Storage, this is how the interface looks like. If you wanted to create a bucket, click on create bucket. Keep yourself muted, guys. Okay, when you click on a create bucket, so as I told you, there are few things that we have to remember while creating a bucket. Okay, first thing, while providing a name of your bucket, we have to pick a proper globally unique name. When I say globally unique name, no one has used so far this particular name as a Google Cloud Storage bucket. Okay, so some disturbance. 1 minute. Yeah. So, when I say globally unique name, so far no one has used this name as a Google Cloud Storage bucket. No one, when I say it's not me, it's not you, it's everyone. Whoever so far worked on the Google Cloud Storage, for example, I did not create a bucket with the name of the bucket called a bucket. Okay. But someone might have used it. Okay. So this bucket name is already taken. Bucket 1, bucket 2, bucket 3, something like that. If you give a normal name, it might have created by someone might have used this kind of a bucket name already. So you cannot be able to create it. So it should be a properly unique name so that you can able to give that to your bucket. So for now, I am going to give storage underscore bucket underscore resources. Okay, so this is the bucket. I have given a proper bucket name, which will not, I believe that which will not be used by anyone so far. Even though still this is the 10102 I will give. Okay, so this name no one has used so far. It is a globally unique name. Now after that, once you have given a proper name to the bucket, click on continue. And this is where we have to worry about a location. So I want you to understand about a location, sir. While you are creating a bucket, the very important thing you have to remember is one of the important thing is location, guys. Okay, I'm hearing a lot of noise. 1 minute. Okay, location. So there are three there are three types of locations available inside when you wanted to create a bucket. One is region, one more is dual region, one more is multi-region. Okay, so these are the three things, sir. What is the difference? One by one we will see, sir. Very important thing, let us try to understand it. Sir, you select a region. Sir, this is your bucket. You selected one region and you created a bucket. Inside a bucket, you have one file. Okay, that file is sales.csv. You have uploaded this file. Okay, now tell me, you selected a region called some US. Okay, instead of that name, instead of names, I will say region 1. Okay, you selected one region, you selected one region, and inside you have created a bucket, and inside the bucket you have uploaded a file. Okay, so what happens if this region crashes? What happens? Think about it like this, guys. If what happens if this region has a failover? All the data related to whatever the bucket, the data inside the bucket will lose, right? So this may happen for the single region. When you select a single region, if we do not know, there can be no failovers, but in any case, if there is a failover happen at that particular region, all the data inside your bucket will be gone. Okay, so that is the problem with the region. So that is the reason it has a, and one more thing is like a latency will be there, and data loss may happen. data loss may happen because you have only selected, there is no replication. I would say instead of that one, no replication. Instead of that one, I will say no replication. Okay. So these are the two things. There will be a latency. When I say latency, you wanted to see here. You wanted to get the data from this particular bucket. There are plenty of the people need to have the data from this bucket. But the thing is, like, many people are accessing. That is the reason there is a latency because of a single region. So there will be a latency and there is no replication. When I say a replication, we will see in a dual region, guys. Okay. Now, if the failure happens, the data will be losing. So I don't want it to go such scenarios. What I will do is, like, I will go to the dual region. In a dual region, what happens is, like, whatever the data that you have uploaded, right, it will be replicated to the one more region, sir. What it will do, sir? It will be replicated to the one more region. Okay, in a dual region, you have created a bucket with a region 1 and you have selected a dual region. So whatever the file you uploaded, sales.csv, that data, say similar data, the same data will be replicated. One more copy of the same data will be available in the region 2 because it is a dual region. So one more region will also be there. The data will be copied or replicated to the one more region. Okay, it is replicated to the one more region. What is the advantage, sir? If region 1 failover happens or if the region 1 crashes, your data will be available all the time. Your data will be available from this region 2. Okay, so this is what is an advantage. Okay, this is what I am calling as a replication.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah, sorry.
If we delete region 1, data will be deleted in region 2.
Both, yes, yeah, region 2 as well. It's if you intentionally delete a data, that means you don't need it, right? So that means data will be deleted in both the regions because unnecessarily you don't want it to pay the extra charge, right? You intentionally delete it means both the places it will be deleted. But if you wanted to recover it, that there's a chance. Okay, but if you upload a one file and at any cost you don't want it to lose the data, you go for a dual region. And what is the advantage? Here it is less available, but here less latency, replication is there, and availability is there. Okay, the data is highly available. And one more thing, sir, again, one more thing. When I say dual region, I am getting these kind of benefits from the dual region. What if I go to the multi-region? So the multi-region will be selected by those companies who don't want to lose the data at any cost. At any cost, you are running a business, very important for you. You have a data that you don't want it to lose at any cost. In that case, you select a multi-region. In a multi-region, the data will be replicated between 2 or 3. Sorry, the data will be replicated between 2 or 3 regions. The data will be replicated between what, sir? 2 or 3 regions. Okay, so this is the region 3. More than 2 regions, sir. So this is an advantage. What is this one, sir? At any cost. So the requirement is very simple. At any cost, because the cost will be increasing from the region to the multi-region. Because I will tell you, because when you get a lot of benefits, the cost will also be there like that, right? So when you go to a multi-region, the data will be replicated to the multiple regions, and the data will be highly available. Okay, the data will be highly available. There is no latency at all. We can say minimal latency. The latency is very minimal. Okay, comparatively very less. Very less latency, sir. And one more is replication is between different regions, more than 2 regions. Here only one region, sir. There replication is only one region, but replication between more than 2 regions, and data will be highly available. So this is a question in the interviews also. How do you make your data will be highly available? So I select a multi-region option so that my data will be highly available all the time. Okay.
Here
So
also in any
even though
region, here
sorry,
also in any region, if you delete data, it will replicate to all the region in multi-region.
in a multi-region also, it's only about, sir, intentionally you wanted to delete it, it will be deleted every place, sir. First thing. Okay, intentionally you delete it in one location, it will be deleted everywhere. But if you upload a file, but you thought that if for example think if there a failover happens to this region, that was nothing but unintentionally the data is not available. In that case, your application will be connected to this data, even though this region is also not available. Your application or your data processing system will be connected to this one. That's the reason data can be highly available. Okay, so this is what it happens. For example, when your application is running or when your data pipeline is running, you have connected to this one. Okay, you have connected to this one, your application or a pipeline, whatever it is. When you connected to this one, if this region in a multi-region, this bucket is not, the data inside this the file is not available, or this region is not available, automatically it will be connected to this one, because it is a multi-region. Automatically it will be connected. This is the reason all the time the data will be highly available. Okay, but in this one, if this region is not available, it will be connected to this one. If this is not available, it will not be connected to that one. That is the reason the data is less available here. Yeah, any questions, sir?
Sir, if any changes made in region 1, it will be applicable to other
Of course, yes. So it is just a replication, sir. Whatever you do the changes in the region 1, it will be replicated. Okay, you cannot see it. Okay, sir, where I can see my replication, you cannot see it. Okay, automatically backend GCP will be taking care of it. This is a concept. So what do you have to understand from this concept, sir? What I can get from this concept, if you ask me, I will say like this. So if you wanted to, the cost will be less here, less cost. Okay, I will say L. Here medium cost, it is a high cost. Not high, but the cost will also be lesser, but comparatively. Okay.
Sir, if I am accidentally updated any files and I want to reverse that one, whether it is possible.
You wanted to revert the changes?
Revert the
you can go for the object version. We will come to that topic. Yeah. So what is the concept that, what is the thing that you have to get from this location is that, so according to your requirements, sir, I wanted to, it's okay for me if it is less available also, that is fine. I don't need a replication. I want a less cost. You can go for region. No, at any cost, I don't want it to lose the data, or at any cost, or the data to be available all the time. In that case, you can go for this one. Okay, so this is what is all about the location, sir. Now you understand that what is the mean by the multi-region, dual region, single region. Dual region highly available across largest area. Dual region highly available across 2 regions only. And lowest latency with a single region. So this is what it is. Okay. Now if I select a multi-region, the cost will be, you'll be able to see here, guys. Okay. And if I select a dual region, I will select 2 regions, and the cost will be like this. And if I select a multi-region, the cost will be little less. There is no replication cost here. Okay, so this is how it works. So as per my business, I don't want it to lose the data at any cost, so I will go with the multi-region, and inside that I select Europe or Asia specific or this one. For now, I am going with the US multiple regions. So this is the region I have selected. Inside that US, the data will be replicated to the multiple regions. Okay, so this is all about a location type. Once you have selected a proper location, click on continue. And this is where is your storage class. Sir, what does that mean by storage classes? You set here, you look at here. In a storage classes, we have 4: standard, nearline, hold line, and archive. Okay, let us see what is this one. Okay, storage classes. So in a storage classes, you have to, in a storage classes, we have four, sir. One is standard storage class, nearline, whole line, archive. Okay, so let us not worry about these four, but let me tell you, sir, I have a requirement. I have a requirement that I am uploading a one file to my one of my bucket, and that file I wanted to access it frequently. Okay, what you are doing, sir? You have created a one bucket. You have created a one bucket, and inside that bucket you are uploading some file called sales.csv. Okay, this file you wanted to access it frequently. In that case, you selected the bucket storage class as a standard. Frequently accessed data. Okay, what is this one, sir? If you wanted to access this file frequently, then you can go for the standard storage class of this bucket. Okay, this is your bucket. Okay, this is one thing. And nearline, sir, you don't want it to access it frequently. Your manager told that we are going to access this file, or we are going to retrieve this file, or we are going to work with this file once in a month. Okay, once in a month, then you can go for a near line. Okay, so this is what is. And one more thing is like, no, it is not frequently, it is not once in a month, we are just accessing once in a quarter. Then you can go for a cold line. And one more is, you can say once in a year. What is this? What are the advantages that we are getting? I will tell you, sir, but just understand the concept. Okay, so if you have a file inside a bucket, if you are accessing all those files inside that bucket frequently, you can select that bucket as a storage class of standard. Okay, no, if you are not frequently accessing it, if you are only wanted to access it once in a month, you can select as a nearline as your storage class, or cold line as your storage class for once in a quarter, archive for once in a year. Okay, so this is all about storage classes, guys. Let me show you one advantage diagram. You will be able to understand it. 1 minute, let me open that. Somewhere I got it. Okay, yeah. Last time when I was explaining, this is the thing. Okay, the advantage is something that I will tell you. These are the four storage classes, guys. The storage class for standard, nearline, cold line, and archive. Okay, you will be able to see here. As I told you, see, the advantage is that, so when you are accessing frequently, the transaction cost is very less and the storage cost is very high. Okay, and when you are accessing it once in a year, the transaction cost is very high, the storage cost is very less. So this is the advantage that you are getting. Okay, what does that mean, sir? You have to be very smart when you are selecting a storage class. Okay, unnecessarily you don't want it to pay extra money here. Okay, there is a cost associated. I want you to understand one more point. Where is my paint? There are two costs associated. When you interact with a service, any service, there are two costs associated, guys. If you interact with and if you are working with any of the resource in the GCP, and not only in the GCP, even you go to the AWS Azure also, there are two costs associated. One is storage cost. One more is compute or retrieval cost. Okay, these are the two costs associated. Okay, one is storage cost, one more is retrieval or compute cost. For Google Cloud Storage, it is a storage cost will be there, retrieval cost will also be there. Storage cost is nothing but for storing this particular data inside a bucket, that is a storage cost. When you retrieve it, so this is when you access it, that is a transaction. You are doing some kind of a transaction, right? You're trying to load this data to some other data processing system. That a transaction cost or that retrieval cost will also be there. So that is what we are talking about. So for the standard storage class, so like this one, the transaction cost is high. The standard transaction cost will be increased here. Transaction cost will be increasing. Okay. So the transaction cost will be increasing from the standard to the archive. That means, what does that mean, sir? When you are accessing once in a year, when you access that file, the cost will be very high. But when you are frequently accessing the data, the cost will be very less. Why, sir? Because again, there is a one more cost, that is storage cost. Okay. Storage cost will be very high here. Storage cost is very high here. Okay. So the storage cost is for frequently accessed data. You have to, the data to be available all the time when you frequently access it. That means the storage cost for that particular storage class is higher, because when you frequently accessing it, the data to be highly available, to make the data to be highly available all the time, the storage cost is increases. Okay. And one more thing, archive. When I say once in a year only, because when I am retrieving it once in a year, the data need not to be available all the time. So for the making not available all the time, I don't need to pay extra money. The storage cost is very lesser here, but the transaction cost is, after a very few many days, you are trying to retrieve the data, retrieve the entire data. That means the transaction cost is very high. Okay, so this is how the benefit that you are going to get it, guys. Okay, one is transaction cost, one more is storage cost. Okay, transaction cost will be very high for the archival storage class, and storage cost will be very high for the standard storage class. Okay, this is something that you have to understand. Okay, any questions are on this one? Okay, so this is something that I want to understand. Okay, okay, 1 minute. Some more things are also there. Okay, storage classes, I think that's it. Yeah. Okay, so this is what is about storage classes. Now you understand that what is a storage class, guys. Now you have to, you can also read it here. Best for short-term storage, frequently accessed data. Best for backups and data accessed less than 1 a month. And best for disaster recovery, less than once in a quarter. Best for long-term digital preservation data accessed once in a year. Okay. So according to your requirements, sir, you are creating a bucket. That bucket is only for the disaster recovery. That means you are only accessing the data once in a quarter. You go for this code line. Sir, I am creating a bucket. I wanted to use that bucket files inside a bucket all the time. You go for the standard. Sir, I wanted to be create a bucket for the backup purpose. Then you can go for the nearline. Okay, so this is what you have to do, sir. Okay, so this is all about storage classes. Now I wanted to access the data frequently. For that reason, I am selecting a standard as my storage class. Okay.
Sir?
Yes.
At initial stage, if we have chosen Archive, immediately we want to choose the data.
Correct.
Will it be
very good question? Yeah, very good question. So initially you have selected as an archive as your default storage class, but you later some point of time you understood that this is not going to be an archive. You wanted to be access the data very frequently. That's your question, right? So you can make it. You can convert a storage class from one to the another according to your requirement. Later also you can edit the bucket. So this is a editable option.
So if we edit also, we can pay in the middle also.
we can, sorry, the cost will be until that time. For example, you for 1 month you have mentioned it as an archive. The cost will for 1 month will be only for that particular archive storage class. And after next month you have selected as a standard as your storage class. The cost will be from there. Whenever you select the standard, from there the storage cost will be according to the standard storage class. And our Google will be Google Cloud is very smart enough to understand that how you are selecting the storage classes. Not only that, how the computing and how the resources you are using, how much data. Even though you create a bucket, you don't upload anything. Google Cloud will understand that you just created a bucket, you have not uploaded anything. That means you are not using any resources. There won't be any cost. And you selected a storage class, this one, that one, this one, that one, but you don't uploaded anything, there is no cost at all. But if you uploaded one file inside a bucket and you selected a standard for 1 month, and after second month you selected archive, the cost will be according to that standard. The cost will be standard into some 10 rupees or some 100 rupees, standard into 10 plus archive into some 150 rupees is total equals to for 2 months. That is a charge of that. So that is how it is. Okay.
Okay. So do it require downtime to change that class of the storage?
There is no downtime. Yes. I mean, there will be a little latency, but it is very less. Yeah.
Okay.
When you select a one storage class from one that to that, how much time it wouldn't take much time. But if it is a lot of data, even though a lot of data also, it wouldn't take much time. In the back end, there can be like 1 or 2 seconds. It would be in milliseconds, guys. It would be in milliseconds. The downtime will be. Okay. Yeah. Okay, that is one thing. That's those two questions are very good questions, guys. Even I wanted to cover that. Yeah. So that is one thing. And we have selected, now I have selected a standard because I wanted to frequently access the data. So that is something that I have selected. Now, this is where is a very important thing, because I wanted to control the files inside my bucket. Very important thing, because everyone wanted to worry about the security, right? So this is where we are securing our buckets and files. So very important topic. Please be focused on this one, guys. Okay. So the thing here is, where I will keep it here. Okay. Okay. Or I'll keep it here somewhere. Yeah. So the thing here is access control. What is this access control? I want you to focus on this point now. Sir, I have created one bucket. Inside that bucket, I have many files like sales.csv. I have schema.json. Sir, I have a project confidential file, confidential dot some text file, and there are plenty of other confidential or somewhat I would say sensitive data, some customer sensitive data, sensitive underscore data dot some word file or whatever it is, sir, word file. Okay, so these are the files inside my bucket. Consider that this is your bucket. Okay, you have created a bucket, and while after you created a bucket, you have uploaded these many files inside the bucket. Okay, there is a one project manager, or there is a client. Okay, think that there is a client, there's a data engineer. So we should understand that the client has to access what kind of objects inside a bucket, and we should understand the data engineer has to access what kind of a files inside a bucket. So that is what told. Yeah.
Yes, sir. I have one question.
Yeah.
That storage class you explained last time.
Yes, yes.
So that storage class is applicable for each and every file in the bucket, or it is applicable as the whole for a bucket?
It's it to the bucket. So we are not worried about a file, and it's only for the entire bucket. Okay. So when you select that file, when you select the bucket as your storage as standard storage class, all the files inside that bucket are applicable to the bucket. I mean, it follows the bucket level. So that means that means if it is a standard, the file is also a standard storage class. Okay, so there is proper word for that. So I forgot that. Inherited. Okay, so inherited. So when you select a storage class for the bucket as a standard, it inherits all the files will also inherited from the bucket permissions. That means standard it will get from the files also. So if it is a bucket is a standard, all the files inside the bucket is also a standard. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So now back to the access control, guys. So in access control, so we are talking about two things, but now let me create a context for that. So I have created a bucket, but that bucket will have these many files. Okay, these many files inside it. Now we have to understand there is a client and there's a data engineer. So the data engineer has to access only sales.csv, schema.json, and it should not have access to the project confidential files and sensitive data. He should only access these two files. Okay, he should only access this file and this file. Okay, but inside a bucket, the data engineer has to access few files inside a bucket, only few files. What about a client? A client has to access all the files inside a bucket. All the files inside a bucket. Now, how do we achieve it? This is a very good question. How do we achieve it, sir? I have a bucket. That bucket is having a plenty of the files, but few of the files has to provide access to few people. But some people needs an entire access to all the files inside a bucket. So how do we achieve it? So that is where the concept of access control come into the picture. There are two concepts here, sir. One is, so for example, for the data engineer, what I will do, I will provide access at rate object level. Okay, what I'm doing, sir, for this data engineer, he should only access few files. So that's the reason I will provide him access to the object level. So I will go to this file, I will select his username and provide access to him. I will go to this particular file, I will select his username, again I will provide access. So object level permissions I will provide to him. Okay, so that he will be having access to that objects, whatever whoever has provided a permission. Okay, and what about this one? So this one is access at rate bucket level. So when I provide a bucket level access, he can able to access anything inside that bucket. Okay, when I say a bucket level access, so I am providing access to the entire bucket. That means whatever the files inside that bucket, he will be having access. So these are the two concepts, sir. Okay, access at rate bucket level, access at rate object level. So this is what in other terms access control called as a uniform as this is fine grained. Okay, the name it is saying that uniform access to the entire files inside a bucket. That is nothing but a access at a bucket level. Fine grained, the access will be a granular access to the